Okay, so check this out. There's this whole generation of folks who legitimately remember using a rotary phone and also camped out for the first iPhone drop. And get this, psychologists are still figuring out exactly where these people belong. So if you were born somewhere between 76 and 85, congrats. You're chilling in this weird no man's land. Like, you're technically the tail end of Gen X, but you're definitely not a millennial either, even though people keep trying to shove you into one of those buckets. Around 2014, researchers finally gave this crew a name, Xennials. Some sociologists even call it a microgeneration, because dude, that time window is super specific. And what went down during those years, low-key created something worth paying attention to. All right, let's rewind to the beginning and talk about what it was like growing up unplugged. Your whole childhood, completely analog. Boredom wasn't something you could swipe away. You literally just sat there and dealt with it. You had to memorize phone numbers, like actually keep them in your head. And if you bailed on your favorite TV show, too bad. It was just gone. Then, right when you hit adulthood, boom, the world went digital. Not over time, like overnight. And that timing, turns out it was kind of a big deal. Here's the thing about living through the before and after. Most generations grow up completely inside one tech era, one vibe, one playbook. But Xennials, y'all lived through two totally different systems while you were still trying to figure out who you even were. Your late teens looked absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing, like your 20s. That gap, way bigger than what most generations go through. Think about what life actually looked like back then. You passed handwritten notes in class like some old school spy mission. Conversations just disappeared, no record. Making plans meant you had to literally trust people. You'd show up at the spot and just hope your squad actually came through. No, sorry, running 10 men late text. Nada. Then, suddenly, flip phones, AOL Instant Messenger, Friendster, MySpace, Facebook, the whole 9 yards. Before all that, you had like 3 ways to reach somebody. Then, basically overnight, you had a million options. And somehow, you just rolled with it. You caught both worlds, right when your brain was still forming who you'd become. Now, here's where it gets pretty wild, because your brain was literally built for this moment. So there's this research on brain development, right? And it shows your prefrontal cortex, which is basically the part of your brain that helps you adapt to new stuff, doesn't stop developing until you're like 25. Nature Neuroscience has the receipts on this, which means Xennials were still in this crazy high adaptation phase when the entire world basically did a 180. You were young enough to vibe with it, but old enough to remember the way things used to be. Gen X folks, they're usually pretty sus about new tech. Younger millennials and Gen Z, they've literally never known anything else. But Xennials, you developed something kind of rare, this psychological bilingualism. You can kick it with someone face to face for hours without doom scrolling, but you can also pick up new apps and software no problem. You remember what it felt like to just be off the grid without having a panic attack about it. This double life experience also changed how you think about privacy. Like, for real. You grew up when cringe moments just faded away. People forgot. Stories got fuzzy over time. No digital camera roll full of receipts, no digital paper trail haunting you forever. There's actually research showing our brains naturally edit memories as time goes by, but digital permanent records mess with that whole process in ways we're honestly still trying to wrap our heads around. And then, just when you thought you had it figured out, another curveball dropped. The economy basically said, psych, you started your career right around when the Great Recession hit, which was basically economic chaos on steroids. Getting slammed financially right when you're starting out, that leaves marks. It straight up changes how you think about money, risk, job security, forever, even after things bounce back. So this generation had to learn 2 insane lessons at the exact same time: roll with massive change and expect things to fall apart. That combo? Nobody really talks about it. Look, most generational hot takes are lazy as hell. They just dump everyone into these big, generic categories and call it a day. But when things change this fast, it creates completely different psychological experiences. In Xennials, you're basically a walking contradiction, a paradox generation. You grew up independent, way before parents started tracking their kids 24/7. You learned to figure stuff out solo, to sit with boredom, to keep yourself entertained. But then you hit adulthood right when the internet was still all optimistic and promising, when tech felt like it was going to connect everyone and open up the world. Independent, but also down to collab. Skeptical, but still hopeful. Analog roots with digital fluency. What really defines Xennials might be this. You can hold two completely opposite ideas in your head without it breaking you. You remember it all. The before and the after. What we gained and what we low-key lost along the way. You dig modern convenience, instant everything, staying connected 24/7, but you also clock what disappeared. Patience, real solitude, being fully present without distractions. But real talk, you gained some major stuff too. Access to everything, global connections, opportunities that straight up didn't exist when you were a kid. If you're a Xennial, you probably feel a little off, like you don't quite fit anywhere. Too young for the old world, too old for the new one. But here's what I want you to hear. That feeling, that's not a bug. That's literally your superpower. You lived through one of the biggest shifts in human history. And in a world that's changing faster than anyone can keep up with, being adaptable might be the most valuable skill you've got. Your whole experience teaches something most people are still struggling with: how to evolve with the times without losing who you are at your core. If any of this hit home for you, do me a solid and hit that subscribe button. It really helps me keep making content like this. And trust me, I've got more videos in the pipeline. Different topics, same level of depth. Thanks for watching. Catch you in the next one.